Been getting texts all day unsolicited about Troy Aikman's commentary on Caleb Williams. Let's play a few and discuss and see if we think like it's all the same issue or if each one might have its own conversation. All right?
Let's talk about the idea of leading a receiver, a runner's ball.
Williams fires over the middle, and the former commander, Zacchaeus, is good for 11. And a nice diving grab by Olamide for a first down. Yeah, really nice catch by Olamide Zacchaeus, and you're going to see he hooks up, whereas Caleb Williams kind of expects him to continue to stay on the move. Otherwise, he's able to catch this ball and maybe do something with it. And that is an area that Caleb Williams needs to improve as they move through the rest of this season, the run after the catch. In fact, in talking with Ben Johnson, he refers to it as a runner's ball, meaning get the ball in his hands with the ability to run after the reception.
Thought Caleb did a very nice job on several other throws, shallow crosses, one deep cross that was in there. But if he's late on some of those crossing patterns and you're calling that out, I have no problem with that. That's the way the Lions defense operates. Jameson Williams had a great touchdown against Kansas City the other night when he caught a runner's ball from Jared Goff on his way across the field.
I look at this and be like, hey, look, you won the rep because you picked up a first down, an 11-yard play there, and it allows for Troy to go back to stuff that he heard from Ben Johnson himself and say, yeah, this is good, but they would like for it to be the best that it can be.
So I didn't have a problem with that one. I thought, I mean, yes, it was a completion, but he's given you some nuance as far as the quarterback play goes. Here's the deep shot to Rome in double coverage that Troy had something to say about.
Caleb buys time, airs it out. Odunze. Incomplete. Never had a chance. Savage and Quan Martin were back there for the Commanders, bracketing Rome Odunze. Yeah, you don't know what exactly Caleb Williams is being told or what they're going to do when they come in the game. But, you know, do you say, hey, we're going to take our shot, give them a chance? But there was no chance that this ball, you know, you got two defenders and they were there the whole time. And, you know, okay, you give Odunze an opportunity to go up and make a play, and that's fine. Take the sure thing, especially there on second down.
Later in the game, Caleb would give a chance to Rome Odunze, and it was called back for what seemed like a really dubious formation penalty that was thrown. I didn't hear anything that I thought was egregious from Troy Aikman last night. I know a lot of people heard it that way. I didn't. I tend to side with Kurt on this, where when it comes to quarterback, and I do think it's difficult for all of us to understand and then mute some of the biases that we come into it with. But I think whenever there's a quarterback in the booth, they are giving you something most of the time, 90% of the time at a national level. They are giving you what they have been taught and what they picked up from talking to the coaches about what it is that the coaches want.
Ben Johnson said we're taking the governor off. We're taking the training wheels off. We're going to open things up, a lot more motions, a lot more shifts than what they've shown for the first 4 games.
We're ready to go. The governor's off.
Governor's off, baby.
And I do think that there is usually a higher standard when those guys are talking particularly about quarterback play.
I think that's true. I think that on that one, on the double coverage, I didn't love that ball going up there into double coverage. It gave Rome a chance, but it's double coverage. The one you're talking about, the touchdown, thought that was a beautiful,
it's gorgeous.
It was a 50-50 ball, and he threw it up there and gave his guy a chance. It was great.
It's funny. We were talking about that on the other side in our group chat last night with Jaden Daniels, and I'm like, yeah, I want to see Caleb start doing that, like
Absolutely.
giving his guys a chance. And it was like immediately after that,
yeah,
he gives him a chance to make a play. And look, this is going to get lost, and it's not sexy. Rome Odunze, I can't wait till tonight I go back and look at the All-22. The stuff he did blocking last night was pretty bleeping amazing. Just thought I'd add that to the conversation.
You're good. Yeah. Right. Yeah, there's a little more of this, Troy, that I want to weigh in as well.
This is Troy talking about the failed 2-point conversion.
And Williams in trouble. Throws back and incomplete for Zacchaeus. So they get the touchdown, cannot convert on the 2-point try.
Take a look at that last play. Here's Kyle Monungai, the tailback, and he's going to go to the flat, and that's typically the first read. And if Caleb goes right to him, he's got it. Just put it in his hands, and he's going to get it in the end zone. But his eyes were kind of up the field here or here. I'm not sure exactly where he was looking. And also the other part that people don't understand at times, that tackle right here, he can get in the line of sight for the quarterback, and sometimes he blinds the quarterback in being able to see that guy in the flat, but something kept him from going to Monungai immediately because that was really his only place to go with the football.
And he was wide open, too. Monungai was wide open.
And right there, I think you have Troy being a quarterback's quarterback in that moment and being like, hey, why didn't Caleb throw the ball? Well, sometimes in those situations, the tackle drifts out there, and I can't see the guy who's wide open.
And there were a couple others. One time, like, Caleb's been a little off tonight. There's another time he said he was late, but he still gets it. There's little stuff like that. Here's the thing to me. We have a coach now who's not a BSer. He tells it to the players like they need to hear it.
Yes.
And he's doing that in the meetings with these guys as well. And we know that Caleb is a work in progress. Caleb is now comfortable saying it about himself, which is a wonderful thing that is now happening. This is a bumpy process. Caleb's not a perfect quarterback. He's learning and getting better. That's awesome. I have absolutely no problem with a quarterback analyst telling us where a guy is still struggling and learning. We're smart. Don't be sensitive to this stuff, Bears fans. It's not him ripping Caleb or favoring Jaden over Caleb. Jaden is further ahead. He is further ahead. Okay? So Caleb's learning, and it's a work in progress. And after the game, Aikman was on with Scott Van Pelt and was praising Caleb all over the place, especially for the calm that he showed at the end. It's okay to tell the truth about what you're seeing.
So I guess Ben was a little snippy on the coaches show about this, and then he was asked about that by the press corps earlier today.
I saw you said somewhere today that you caught a little bit of the TV copy of the second half. Did the tone of coming from the color analyst there surprise you?
Maybe I just had it on mute.
It sounded like you heard some of what they said.
Yeah. No, listen, you want respect in this league, you got to go earn it. And so that's where we're at right now. We need to go earn that respect from not only the rest of the teams in the NFL, but everybody. So that's where we are.
Wow. That's Ben having his players back, just in case anything got back to Caleb. But, Ben, you're the one who's in the meetings probably talking to Troy about, in fact, he was parroting some stuff from you.
You said, like verbatim.
So that sounds to me, frankly, like Ben trying to have it both ways.
Yeah, I don't like that. If you're going to be that way on the coach's show, then stand on it and then be that way. I would also suggest to him that that's not the best way to go about that. And I still think that even though we all love Ben, he's having some issues navigating the media part of his job nationally. Locally, I think he's doing a great job with the people that are in the room and all that stuff. But, walking it back a little bit there. Walking it back a lot.
I didn't think so.
I didn't hear it. So, but earlier you were talking about how your kids heard it.
Yeah, but he's saying he got to earn some respect. Maybe stuff like that.
Maybe go listen to it.
Wow,
because you're going to be asked about it because you brought it up.
Man, a lot of texters disagree and think that Aikman was biased. Aikman was wrong on the last drive. Here's another. Aikman was praising Jaden for laughing after the interception. He would have crucified Caleb for that. It's a double standard.
I don't know if Troy would have crucified Caleb for that. I do think that there would have been a ton of people, mostly national and probably some locally, that would have destroyed Caleb for laughing at that and then on top of it losing the game. If you laugh at it and you win the game, it is probably like a tertiary story. But if you laugh at it and you lose the game, it allows people to be like, hey, what's so funny over there?
I mean,
what's going on? Do you think, what am I, a clown? Will I amuse you?
Here's another. Troy discussing the high snap that Caleb got sacked on. And he did say Caleb's got to grab it. And then how he discussed Jaden actually fumbling it away in a key moment. So, yeah, people were really sensitive to the comparison and sensitive to, Jaden being better, which he is. But that's...
I think that gap's closing, sir.
Maybe so. Maybe it is. But, yeah, that's interesting. Troy also says a texter, Caleb almost threw that ball flat-footed, which is the most obvious tell he's searching to rag on him any way possible.
I don't think that's what's happening.
I don't think that. I think he wants quarterbacks to throw with good fundamentals, which frankly they need to. When they can, they need to. He was also praising the arm on that play that you're talking about. It's amazing what Caleb can do.
What I don't like about this is I don't like the idea that there is the belief that Troy is being malicious in his breakdown of Caleb. Whether you agree with what he says or doesn't, that's really not been his MO his entire career as an analyst.
No.
I do think that he holds quarterbacks to a bit of a higher standard than other players on the field. And because of his Hall of Fame career, he can hold quarterbacks to that standard. But the idea of malicious intent, I don't like the way that people are trying to frame it as if he walked into the game with an agenda to not talk well about Caleb. Like I think you guys are being very dangerous and very cynical about someone who hasn't done this throughout his career. If we want to have a conversation about Collinsworth, in that regard,
you think Collinsworth has done that?
And his favoritism that seems to really play out, and there's a long history of it when it comes to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
we can have that conversation. I don't think you can put Troy in that category.
I think 3 weeks ago, most Bears fans would have agreed that Caleb is a work in progress and getting better, and we'll see what happens. And we've got to wait on this and take till October. Or take till November or whatever, or Thanksgiving, wherever you want to do it. It's still the case. He's still a work in progress.
Yes.
They're winning while he's a work in progress, which was wonderful. But it's okay to tell the truth about him being a work in progress.
And think about the things that you as a fan have said about Caleb when things haven't gone right. The idea of him not stepping into throws or missing guys who are wide open and maybe missing guys when they're wide open because his mechanics aren't right. These are all things that you as a Bears fan have identified and spoken about. So the fact that someone who has played this position at the highest of levels is telling you that. And I'll just say, like, from having him on the show, when he talked about some of these things that Caleb wasn't doing, you hallelujah'd and amen when he said it to us here on The Score.
Right.
So don't try to make him out to be like he's some guy that's got his knives out. There are plenty of those people in national media, and we will call them out when they show their ass. That was not what Troy Aikman was doing last night.
I got to say, I agree with you, by the way. And I got to say, big fan of Ben Johnson, but in this case, I feel like he's trying to throw red meat to his players and maybe the base.
Yes, he very much is.
It feels a little disingenuous.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'd rather that if that's how you felt this morning, that your kids got you fired up about whatever was being heard.
Okay.
I would appreciate you, one, going back and actually looking at it.
Kids might be wrong.
Yeah, that's usually how it works when things are heard secondhand. And two, don't try to throw a stone and hide your hand. You threw a stone this morning. Stand on it and be like, hey, or say, you know what, I heard it secondhand. I went back and looked at it. It was fine.
I think he stood on it. He said, I'm not saying, I'm just saying, is what he said. So he just kind of let it lie there. That was a little funky. That's too bad.
Yeah, a little funky.
Little funky.